Greetings, Taurus and Taurus rising. This is your Western forecast for December 2024. The new moon is on December the 1st. We have a new moon every 4 weeks. Where the new moon falls in your chart is where your priorities and tension is more the major theme. This new moon is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is 8 signs past Taurus. So all of December, 8th house issues will be a main theme, plus Mercury, discerning, decision-making, planning Mercury, will be retrograding in Sagittarius for the whole month. Well, it's going to retrograde November the 25th through December the 15th, but it's remaining in your 8th house the whole month of December. So this is what you're thinking about, worrying about, curious about, and with 8th house matters, and the new moon in Sagittarius is really setting, the stage for the major theme for the month. But this new moon is going to be squared by Saturn. And this is impacting everybody. A square is a 90-degree angle. Saturn is the limitations, the frustrations, the contraction. So this new moon, that will impact all of December for everybody, is going to bring in a certain amount of worrying. For Taurus, it's falling in the 8th house. The 8th house can represent your financial obligations. And at the end of the year, maybe paying taxes. That's the 8th house. Maybe clientele, work projects, and contracts may be sluggish and slowing down, and you could be really worried about your finances. On another level, the 8th house has a lot to do with astrology, psychology, even the occult, because it's the area of the horoscope that has a lot to do with transformation. So you may also be really focused, and maybe because of all these financial worries, you might be seeking out counseling because you're so stressed, you can't sleep, you're really worried, or having an astrology reading to ask, when is all this going to turn around? So that could also be the 8th house. Now, Mercury is retrograde from the 25th of November till December the 15th. So Mercury, decision-making Mercury, is going to retrograde the first 2 weeks, but then it takes 2 weeks for the Mercury to catch back up to its speed. I always try to explain it as, think of Mercury as your mind, and when it starts to go forwards from a standstill position, December the 15th, the mind is still slow. And maybe what you were worried about and reevaluating, now you're just slowly making sure you can have the confidence to move forwards. So all of December, and it's all with 8th house matters. When Mercury is retrograde, especially in that 8th house, but Mercury in retrograde, communications, technology, travel, those are the 3 big areas, often face disruptions, misunderstandings, delays, and glitches. You've heard all of this mantra before. This is a period that encourages us to slow down, review the details, don't sign important contracts, don't make important promises, because during the retrograde of Mercury, you don't have all the information, because Mercury has a lot to do with information. So it's best to reflect on past decisions, rather than rushing into new commitments. And it's ideal for revisiting unfinished business. That's the Mercury in retrograde in your 8th house, which might have a lot to do with a lot of introspection and soul searching on one hand. That could be triggered with all these financial matters and decisions on the other. But Mars is going retrograde on December the 6th in Leo, and it goes retrograde once every 2 years. And Mars will retrograde until February the 23rd. It's a long time. So when Mars is retrograde with Mercury in retrograde, communications, Mercury, and action, Mars, becomes highly off track, leading to a sense of spinning your wheels in both personal and professional ambitions. Under this period of these two retrogrades, people may struggle to express themselves clearly. That's the Mercury. And then the Mars, you're being impulsive, you're being argumentative, you're getting angry. And that Mercury-Mars retrograding at the same time, decisions and motivations become clouded, making it a time best for introspection and refining plans rather than pushing forwards. Before I break down with the Mars retrograding in Leo, which is in your 4th house of home and family and real estate, first, if you enjoy these types of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. All right, so Mars, I would have talked about this last month's video. Mars is a 2-year cycle, and Mars, at the beginning of November, like about November the 3rd, entered into Leo, and then it's retrograding in Leo on December the 12th, and it remains in Leo till January the 6th, where it then retrogrades back into the previous sign of Cancer, which I'll get more into in next month's, in January's video. But Mars is, when it's transiting the 4th house, there could be a lot of home repairs, remodeling, moving. That's all that 4th house property. Could be a lot of activity, that's Mars, or a lot of stress, that's Mars, with family matters. Now, Venus is that planet of love and creativity. Venus is going to be in Aquarius, in the 10 signs past Taurus. The 10th is career, business, professional reputation. And with Venus, could bring in a lot of acknowledgement, a lot of popularity. Now, Venus it's going to be through the 10th. Some of you could be getting more business or getting a promotion with Venus moving through the 10th. This could be really favorable for pitching new business ideas or interviewing for new business projects. With that Venus, it's all that benefic energy. People will like you. They'll buy whatever you are selling for the most part. But Venus in Aquarius is in the opposite sign of Mars in Leo, because Mars and Leo are in opposition. Oppositions interacting with each other's. Venus is that love and desire in opposition to Mars. This can be very sexual, intimate energies being triggered. But with Mars in retrograde, there may be a certain amount of being frustrated that, with the any romantic relationships. Now, the new moon on December the 1st in your 8th house, from doing a lot of introspection, soul searching, astrology readings. But for most part, the Taurus is going to be really concerned about their financial obligations. Now, that new moon sets the tone for those next 4 weeks. 2 weeks after a new moon is the full moon. The full moon brings to light what's working and not working from the new moon. The full moon on December the 15th is in your 2nd house of income. We have a little theme going on here. And the full moon, well, most people only feel it for that day, but sometimes you might feeling it for several days, maybe by the 14th, but definitely the 15th, because that's the day of the full moon. So the 15th, the 16th, maybe into the 17th, that Taurus and Taurus rising people could be feeling all this emotional reactiveness with money matters, but the full moon is squaring Neptune. That new moon in Sag was squaring Saturn. Square is this internal conflict. It's a 90-degree angle. So the new moon being squared by Saturn brings up a lot of worrying, Saturn, with your financial obligations of the 8th house. Then 2 weeks later, we get to see what you have to be worried about. And that full moon is in the 2nd house of income, but being squared by Neptune. When Neptune is stressed out, it's distracting, it's confusing, it's disappointing. So you could be starting the month being really worried and concerned about your finances. And by the middle of the month, there might be some disappointments. Now, the Venus is the great benefic planet, and it's the ruling planet for Taurus. So to have Venus transiting the 10th house of business, you're going to have a certain amount of protection. And Jupiter, expansive, lucky Jupiter, is transiting Gemini, which I've been talking about for the last several months, because it went into Gemini at the very end of May, going into June 2024, for 1 year into June 2025. And overall, Jupiter wants to expand, and it's in the 2nd house of income, bringing you many opportunities to increase your finances. But Saturn, restricted, cautious, conservative Saturn, is going to be forming a square, that internal conflict, to the transiting Jupiter. So for the world, not just Tauruses, but for the world, prosperous, expansive Jupiter is going to be squared, frustrated by business economic Saturn. It peaks December the 24th. So this last part of December, going certainly into the first part of January, that Jupiter-Saturn can bring in a lot of economic worries and frustrations. And the Saturn is transiting your 11th house, which can have a lot to do with your long-range goals and aspirations. With the Jupiter, it's all your financial aspirations. But the Jupiter-Saturn could be bringing in a lot of worrying. The Sun leaves Sagittarius on December the 21st and goes into Capricorn. Now, the new moon in Sag is going to still be strong till like January the 1st. But on the last week, December the 21st, the Sun moves into Capricorn, and so it's bringing in some new interests, maybe some new perspective, but the main focus is still going to be on your financial responsibilities. And the ninth house, well, first of all, it's in Capricorn. Capricorn's an earth sign compatible with Taurus, an earth sign. And the sun putting a spotlight on everything that's important, of interest to you, in the ninth house. From the last week of December through the first 3 weeks of January, the ninth house could be really focused on long distance traveling or higher education, deciding to get a higher degree, or publishing, or marketing. And because of the marketing aspect with the ninth house, that could be any online business. And maybe because of all the eighth house in December, you could be worried about your income. And perhaps then the sun going into ninth, you're realizing, I got to go get another degree, I got to get more professional training, or I got to really, enhance my online business, or start thinking about having a sideline online business because of realizing you need to generate more income because all that Taurus, that eighth house of the new moon for Taurus and Taurus rising. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.